Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about Disney Cruise Line's new itineraries,
Disney World cast members getting a raise,
and unique and luxury Disney experiences. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 76, and super excited to get this one started.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome, and welcome to any new people out there.
Yes, hello.
If this is fresh, hello, I'm Caleb.
I'm Caitlin.
And we're going to be talking about some fun Disney things today. And before we dive into the Disney things, let's just kind of recap the week.
Yeah, we've been having a great week.
Yeah, it's been kind of low-key, kind of bipolar weather here in Northern California. We've had a day of just crazy rain, and then the next day it's 70 degrees and beautiful outside, and then the next day super windy and it feels like we live in the Midwest.
Yeah, cold, and then it's warm.
It's
and
crazy.
Then the rain's coming back, and then it's going to be 70. I don't know.
It's so
We'll see.
weird. So again, this is kind of normal spring weather for most of the country. We're just not used to it. We're
No.
used to, by now we're usually like in the 80s and pretty stable there until summer hits, and then it's like 98 degrees.
Yeah, I am ready for the warmer weather.
Yeah, I
think it's
never
time.
thought I'd hear myself say that. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Although,
ready
of
for some
course,
shorts.
when it gets here, we're going to be like, it's
Yeah.
so hot.
Give it 3 weeks of 90 plus weather, and I'll be like, all right, I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we have been watching our TV shows. It's kind of been pretty low key here. We work and then watch TV to kind of to rest. But we've been keeping up on everything except we have fallen behind on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I feel like this one, at least the start of it, we've only watched a few episodes, so we're just going to start with that. It hasn't been the best. However, the last episode that we just watched, I felt like they did a better job with it. Like I was more excited.
Yeah, I don't know. The first couple of episodes, I even was not really into it.
Right.
And I think we're still one behind.
Yeah.
I think we still need to watch episode 4. But I've got I know someone that's in the show, and I still
Yes.
can't get into it.
I know.
which is so messed up. And which it'd be cool to have him on.
It would be really neat.
Yeah, maybe we can make that happen. But hearing the behind the scenes of that show and the technology that's involved, how Jon Favreau is in real life, and Carl Weathers, it's just so iconic. Like the names that he gets to drop and who he gets to work with is,
And Pedro Pascal.
of course, everyone's favorite actor right now, Pedro Pascal. That guy went from oh, I like that guy, and you maybe couldn't recall his name, to a star.
Oh my
the guy
gosh.
is huge.
He seems so nice, though.
Yeah, well deserved.
So kind, and just we've seen a couple of videos of him, and he'll just stop and talk to people, which
Yeah.
is so rare for someone at that level.
He seems like a solid dude.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
We're big Pedro fans around here.
We are big Pedro fans.
Yeah, Caitlin, probably bigger than I am. Hey, before we dive into the news, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Huge help to the show. And share this episode with a friend. So if you've got some friends that are huge Disney fans and they need some more info in their life, send them an episode.
Yes, we would love that. And speaking of, we actually have a new review to read off.
We do.
Which is so exciting. This is a 5-star review from BP Gentry titled Fun and Informative Disneyland Podcast. I'm so glad I found this podcast to research for my first visit to Disneyland. Caleb and Caitlin really have a great dynamic, and the podcast has a wonderful format that touches on Disney news, new merchandise, and trivia along with their main topic of the day. I've listened to all the back episodes and looking forward to the new ones. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
How sweet.
That's very sweet. I'm so happy that this was somewhat useful for your first trip to Disneyland, and I
Yes.
hope it went well.
Which is so exciting. Congrats on your first trip. That
Yeah.
is such a magical event.
That might be the start of a lifetime of addiction.
It is.
And trust me, it's an expensive addiction. It's a good one, though.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories. And I don't know, I'd much rather spend money on experiences and making memories with you and loved ones versus buying a bunch of junk.
Yeah, same here. But
So yeah, I hope your trip, I don't know why I mentioned that, but I hope your first trip to Disneyland was awesome. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for the kind words.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. And again, if you haven't already, please feel free to leave us a review or hit the 5 stars below. One is super quick, and the other, if you would like to take a couple minutes just to write a couple things about what you like about the show, what you're looking forward to, what your favorite episode is, we'd really appreciate that.
Yes, we would. Thanks so much. And one final thing, you can also support the show by using our Getaway Today link to book your Disney vacations. That is in the episode description on our website over at markethousepodcast.com. Had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, and as well as on Instagram, saved under the codes highlight.
Perfect. And if you use code MarketHouse10, that saves you an additional $10 on your vacation. All right, let's dive into the news.
All right, first up, we have some super exciting Disney Cruise Line news. The 2024 summer itineraries have been released.
They have, and this is big news in the Disney Cruise Line community. We're fairly new, I would say. We've only been on, I think it's been three cruises so
Only
far.
3? It feels like more than
I think
that.
so. Only 3 with Disney Cruise Line. Caitlin's been on a couple. Outside of that, Disney Cruise Line was my first cruise experience, and I'm addicted now. Fantastic. So if you're at all interested in going on a Disney cruise, big tip here, the cheapest time to book is when they release their itinerary. So when it's fresh and brand new, that's the cheapest time. Disney does not follow the usual kind of travel thing where like prices start to gradually go down
Right.
as the date approaches because they're like, hey, we need to fill this ship up. Disney doesn't have a problem filling those ships up, so it actually gets way more expensive the longer you wait.
Yeah, especially for the summer 2024 itineraries because of Lighthouse Point.
Yes, which is their new private island, which I'll dive into in a second here. But yeah, also on top of that, it's just summer. And summer travel with any Disney, a Disney park, a Disney cruise is way more expensive than off-season. So just keep that in mind. Bookings do open on March 30th and earlier if you're part of the Castaway Club. So if you've been on a cruise before, you already know this, so I don't have to explain it to you. But some people get those perks of booking early. Like we're silver, we won't be gold until we hit 5 cruises, so we get
Right.
to book on the 29th. Gold's the 28th. Platinum is earlier, and then DVC members get to, I think, book the same day as Platinum or something.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, your status on Disney Cruise Line is a very good thing to have, especially when you're trying to get those hard-to-get reservations, or if you're trying to get a cabana, or certain excursions like when we went to Alaska. Like a lot of those get booked up depending on your tier. So it's
We're the low, we're
the
the
low
low
ones.
people. Yeah. So it's
Yes.
even harder
It's
to
hard,
grab
yeah.
those popular spots. So again, keep that in mind. If you are interested at all in going, I would definitely check those new itineraries out because it's just a great vacation. So they've got the usual Caribbean, Bohemian, and Alaskan sailings for the summer of 24. Some of the more unique sailings consist of European sailings stopping at Mykonos, Hamburg, Germany, or Hamburg. I don't know how my German is pretty rusty. And is it Catania, Italy? Catania,
I think so.
Catania? Okay. Again, those might not all be included in one single sailing, but those are just some examples of some of the newer port offerings from Disney Cruise Line. There's also a 13-night transatlantic itinerary leaving from Port Canaveral and sailing all the way to Barcelona with a stop in Portugal.
wow. Okay,
That sounds
first of
awesome.
all, that sounds absolutely amazing. 13 nights sounds extremely long, but I'm telling you, like if you're on a Disney cruise, there's no like, man, I'm ready to go home.
I know.
It just doesn't exist.
I know we did a 7-night for the first time in September of last year.
And it still wasn't enough.
It was not enough.
Yeah.
I could have been on there a solid another 5 days.
Right. Because
I love it.
It's not like a normal vacation where kind of like you're ready back for your routine, like you're wanting to go home. They just keep you wanting more and more.
They really
which
do.
is great. So
Yeah, so like Caitlin mentioned, Lighthouse Point is now an official port of Disney Cruise Line. This is their new private island. So in addition to Castaway Cay, so let me read off kind of the official description from Disney. Lighthouse Point, enjoy a perfect beach day while experiencing the rich culture, beauty, and history of the Bahamas. When you cast off from Fort Lauderdale on a 3, 4, or 5-night cruise to Lighthouse Point, a new Disney Cruise Line island destination, you can be among the first to visit this tranquil island retreat during a special 7-night inaugural sailing from Port Canaveral on the Disney Fantasy. So listen here, this is the ultimate Disney Cruise Line island destination itinerary with 2 stops at Lighthouse Point and 1 at Disney's Castaway Cay.
oh my gosh.
So that's a new itinerary. We want to be on that. as soon as possible.
That sounds like it's almost, for those who don't know, Disney currently does a Castaway Key double dip is what they call it. And those are very hard to get because there's only a few of them. And they're the most amazing because you get to go twice to obviously Disney's private island, which is so beautiful. So the fact that they're offering the new island, double dip to that plus Castaway Key is so exciting.
Yeah, it's the ultimate Disney fan vacation. It really is. So again, we don't get any money if you book a Disney Cruise Line or a Disney cruise. I'm a huge fan of it just because the parks, trust me, we are giant fans of the parks. We're Magic Key holders. We go all the time. It is a unique beast now, and it's really stressful. So anytime I can suggest the cruise line, it is the Disney Magic without the fuss and the stress of the parks. It's an expensive vacation. It's very expensive. I'm not gonna
sugar-coated or
no,
anything.
not at all. It's expensive. But if you have the money, if you can save up for a couple of years, that's what we do. It's worth it.
It's worth it. And again, we have a few of you who have reached out regarding questions regarding DCL. So if any of you have questions further about whether it's Lighthouse Point, itineraries, or choosing a different ship to go on, like definitely let us know. Send us a message either on Instagram or even on the website.
All right. And our final news story takes place over on the East Coast. Disney World looks to have reached an agreement with the Service Trades Council Union, which represents 6 unions and about 45,000 Disney World service workers, agreed to a minimum wage increase from $15 to $18 per hour. The union does still need to vote on Wednesday to approve the proposal, which it looks like they'll do.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's a big win.
Big win for cast members because the cost of living has increased dramatically in most states, but especially the coasts. I think we've experienced it over here.
Yeah, seriously.
Recently moving into another rental. Things are expensive, and Orlando's getting hit pretty hard, and it's just unique. Again, little cities around the country are just getting absolutely walloped, Orlando being one of them. So I can't imagine trying to live, let's say, on your own as a cast member making $15 an hour, and having to pay rent and food, grocery costs. We went grocery shopping the other day.
It's expensive.
Hundreds of dollars, and it does not get you what it used to get you.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
huge win for cast members. Again, I don't want to get all weird and political or anything, but, cast members that work really hard getting more money is a good thing.
Right.
It only benefits, again, cast members, but also benefits you. You've got happier cast members being able to help you out on your vacation and make sure you're having a fantastic time at the parks. They really do make a ton of magic.
Yeah, they go above and beyond with everything.
For sure. And, and the drama they have to deal with, right? Unruly guests.
Yeah, people are rude.
People are rude.
Yes.
And so the stuff they have to deal with, man, they deserve every
they
penny
do.
they make. So big win for cast members. And congrats if you're one of them. All right. You know what that music means. It is time for Disney Trivia. We're back with some trivia, folks.
We're back.
We had a Disney Trivia episode not too long ago. Absolutely did not do well. The both of us got Fs pretty much. And a lot of you did very well. So kudos to you. If you sent in your score and you got better than a 40, you did better than me. So let's go ahead and dive in.
All right, Caleb, are you ready for your first trivia question?
I believe so. Let's do it.
All right, so the only thing I'm going to tell you is think very hard. It's not what you expect. Okay,
kind of a
so
trick
listen
question here?
very carefully, yes. Where did Cinderella get the first dress she tried to wear to the ball?
Where did she get the first dress she tried to wear to the ball?
I'll say it one more time. Where did Cinderella get the first dress she tried to wear to the ball?
In like the attic or something at her house?
The answer is it's a little more specific.
Oh gosh.
But yes, it was that, but that's not the answer.
Okay. More specific than the attic. Man.
I'll give you one hint,
Okay.
especially for listeners, right? If you're having a little difficulty, she got it from someone. It was someone's.
Her stepmom's? Stepsister.
Incorrect.
Really?
It was her mother's dress.
Her mother's dress.
Remember when she put it on? She's like, "Oh, it's my mother's."
Oh.
It was hers, and it
No
was
way.
in the attic. Yeah.
Okay, I
Or
knew it was the
somewhere.
attic because I'm seeing the live action right now.
Oh,
with,
yeah. That's what I was thinking of too. Remember her mom's was pink?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like really pretty. And
Oh, no way.
yeah, it was her mom's.
Okay, very cool. All right, I did not get that right.
All right, next question. What number is Lightning McQueen in Cars?
Oh, come on. I don't watch this movie a lot. I love it. Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Was it okay? Fun fact, my buddy saw Owen Wilson ordering a flatbread in Maui. Apparently, Owen Wilson has a house in Maui and hangs out with the locals quite often. And my friend said he was cool.
All right.
Lightning McQueen, everyone.
Yeah.
20-something.
Come on.
31. 3.
No.
5.
3.
I don't know.
95.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow. Okay, cool.
All right.
I got both wrong.
It's okay.
Okay. People can be like, really? You were a Disney fan, huh?
That's a tricky one because it's one of those where it's like it's out of sight, out of mind. You're thinking of Lightning McQueen, not the number on the
And
side
right
of
when
him.
you say it, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it
Number
a million
95.
times. Number 95. All right, Caitlin. Let's see if you can do better than 0.
Okay.
Number 1. Which of these Disney love songs won an Academy Award for Best Original Song? I Won't Say I'm in Love, Hercules. Love is an Open Door, Frozen. Once Upon a Dream, Sleeping Beauty. Or Can You Feel the Love Tonight, The Lion King?
Can you feel the love tonight?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes, it's right.
Yes.
Okay, Caitlin wins. I'm not going to ask you the second one.
You know why I knew it? Because we just talked about this like a month and a half ago.
Did we really?
You're talking about how, remember when they were making the movie, they almost didn't use that song?
Oh,
and
I'm reading.
Elton John was like upset or something?
I'm reading a book right now called Disney War, and it's about Michael Eisner's time as CEO, and it kind of goes through all those things. A fun fact was, apparently, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was the head of animation back then, he goes on to find a company. He goes on to how do you start? I will say founded. What's it
Just
called?
say create a company.
Yeah,
Start a company. Yeah.
DreamWorks
Yeah.
with Steven Spielberg and one other person.
Okay.
Anyways, very successful guy, very hard to work for, I've heard. But Geffen was the other guy, David Geffen.
Okay.
Sorry. Besides the point, but yes, when they were creating or making The Lion King, Katzenberg said, "Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut Can You Feel the Love Tonight."
Because he said it didn't make sense. Right?
Yeah, he basically said in the time the time and place in the movies, like this song he kept saying is not deserved. Like these two characters, it does not make sense for them to be singing this super sweet song to each other. They're falling in love. Does not make any sense. And so Elton John called screaming at him, saying like, "I basically quit if you guys are going to cut this song. It's my favorite." And so Katzenberg said, "Fine, we're going to put it later in the movie and kind of develop the love stuff later." So apparently it was supposed to be really early on,
right,
when Nala and Simba fall in love, but they moved it to later in the movie.
And turns out it won an award.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look at Elton John being correct about his own stuff.
Yeah.
Next up, where does Tiana and Prince Naveen's wedding take place? The Bayou, the French Quarter, the Kingdom of Maldonia, or Tiana's restaurant? Where does their wedding take place?
Okay. Oh, dear. Can you tell me one more time?
The Bayou, the French Quarter, the Kingdom of Maldonia, or Tiana's restaurant?
I feel like it's the restaurant.
Incorrect. That's what I thought too.
It's
the
not
Bayou.
It's the Bayou?
They get married in the Bayou. So it's a very quick, fleeting scene. I remember it. They get married. It's like, I think music's playing over it. And they're like showing it. And Mama Odie's there.
Mommy Odie.
Mommy Odie. Mama Odie's there and everyone's there. And then it's almost like panning, I think.
Because then it goes straight to them being
then it
in the
goes straight to the restaurant.
That's why I'm thinking that.
So it's kind of tricky.
Oh my gosh, that movie, it's so, we need to watch it again.
We need to watch it again.
For the 19th
Once
time.
every month. I think Caitlin wants to watch that movie. All right. That was a rough one for me. Caitlin, congrats
But
on winning.
I won.
And let us know what you got at home. If you were like, wow, you totally missed that, I got it right, let us know. If you said if you're surprised you got one wrong. Caitlin's Cinderella one was kind of tricky.
I don't know.
Okay.
If you're a true Disney fan, you would have known the answer. to
Sorry.
that. Just kidding.
Let's dive into the main segment. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is unique and luxury Disney experiences.
Yeah.
So we were talking the other day, and we were like talking about how fun it would be to do an Adventures by Disney trip, and we'll dive into what that is in a little bit if you're confused as to what Adventures by Disney is or what the pros call it, ABD. And we're like, hey, this would be so much fun. Like, I think it'd be fun to try this out one day. It's very expensive, so it's kind of an aspirational trip for the future. And then we started kind of going on about how like all the Disney experiences we've never been able to do due to just schedule or money or whatever.
Or just not even knowing about them.
True. There's
Yeah.
a lot out there that I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Same.
Yeah. So Caitlin actually has worked with some folks that have done plenty of Adventures by Disney activities, experiences, and they
Yeah.
swear by them.
Mm-hmm. They're amazing. The one that they're currently going on is they're taking an Adventures by Disney trip to Banff, which
Canada?
is Canada. Absolutely stunning. That'd be a bucket list trip. It's very expensive. And then they also have done which we'll talk about today. There's a tour that you can do at Disneyland where they take you like behind the scenes of like Soarin'. You get to go to the parks early. I believe you get to go to the animation. What's it? Is it the one in Burbank?
Walt Disney Studios, yeah.
Walt Disney Studios. There's a couple other places. So it's little things like this that Adventures by Disney does do, and they're quite unique experiences that you normally wouldn't be able to do elsewhere.
And I'm sure like the ultimate Disney fans at home, you know what all these are going to be. Like
Yes.
when we list these off, you're going to go, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do that. But again, we can sit here and dream and kind of think of what it would be like to do this. We can tell you what it includes, how much it is, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how much we want to do it.
Right.
Spoiler alert, it's a 10 for all of these things.
Yes.
So these include tours at Disneyland. These are special cruises, trips to Europe, and much more. So let's just dive in on kind of the highlights of kind of the experiences you can do if you've got the cash to burn. Okay, so the most popular and probably the most desirable experience for any Disney fan is a VIP tour at the parks.
Yes, which we have never done.
Yeah, so if you're independently wealthy and you want 2 more people in your group, hit us up.
Yes.
And if you want to hear, this is awesome every 5 seconds, we're the people for you.
Yeah, and when kind of going through and getting all the details of this tour, I found quite some interesting facts regarding how many people can go, how expensive it is, and kind of what it includes.
Yes, so let me read you the official Disney description of what a VIP tour includes. So dream your family's perfect day at the parks, basically hassle-free planning. So they're saying, hey, we'll do it all for you. We'll get dining reservations and all that good stuff. You have reserved viewing, so maximize the magic with VIP viewing and seating for select nighttime spectaculars and stage shows, expedited access to favorite Disneyland Resort attractions via Lightning Lane, and then VIP service. So delight in Disney's acclaimed hospitality and attention to detail with your own personal guide helping with your needs. So basically just taking care of your every need. Disney's going to take care of it.
Oh, yeah. And we've seen a couple groups that have had VIP tours while we're at the parks. And you'll see the VIP tour guide with just a ton of popcorn buckets and water standing behind, like in the exit of a ride,
Yeah,
waiting
exactly.
for all of them to come out to give them popcorn.
Pushing
and
someone's stroller.
I've seen that. I think that's kind of weird. I don't know why.
I think it would be weird if I like specifically asked them to do it. Like, can you push my child around,
I don't
please?
know. I just feel weird asking
maybe
that.
they offer. Maybe they said, hey, you know what? Let me push that around for a little.
Yeah, maybe so. But just little things like that, we were like, okay, that's cool. Like popcorn, water.
Yes.
So I don't know, just the little things.
So let me tell you how much this experience costs you. So you have to have some cash, but again, this is going to sound, I don't want to sound wrong in a weird way or whatever. It was less than I imagined.
For sure.
Like, I always thought it was crazy. It's expensive, don't get me wrong, but a little less than I thought. So it ranges from $500 to $700 per hour. That's a lot of money. You and up to 9 other guests can enjoy a customizable VIP tour with a minimum of 7 hours and a maximum of 10 hours. So if you had like 3 groups of 3 and you guys split this up, that's a lot more manageable. So anyways, basically the minimum cost for this at $500, I'm assuming is like off-peak days. So February, Thursday, right? So $500 an hour for 7 hours, you're looking at $3,500 and it only goes up from there. But again, split between 3, I mean, $1,200-ish for like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That's, I don't know. It's a little more manageable than I thought.
Yeah, and I wonder though with like the time frames, I wonder if depending on what time of day you're coming, if it's more expensive, rather like if you go in the morning for let's say 7 hours or versus like dinner time through nighttime,
I think
7
it's
hours.
only by day. I think it's just by day.
Oh, it's only in the daytime.
No. I'm saying the pricing is dependent on just the day. It doesn't matter what
okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like you would get more bang for your buck, like if it was at night, because you get all like the seating for the shows, and I don't know, maybe not.
I don't know.
I think it just, again, based off preference, obviously. But
Yeah. I like how we're talking about this like we're like seriously considering it.
I mean,
What time should we book this experience? I'm like, I don't know. Next up is a tour through Disneyland called Walt's Main Street Story. This is $160 per person, and let me tell you what this includes: a walking tour down Main Street, USA, a visit to Walt's legendary apartment. This is the apartment above the Main Street firehouse. I almost said fire department. Refreshments on the apartment patio. I did not know it included that.
I didn't either.
I don't want to defile Walt's legacy by drinking.
I'm sure they're very strict
Careful.
on you.
They have like a tarp under you.
Yeah.
Don't spill. PhotoPass photos of your party with complimentary digital downloads, free pictures, and a commemorative lanyard. So that's a little expensive for what it includes, I would argue.
Yes, and from what I recall, I believe you cannot record while on this tour. I think
Really?
it's only pictures.
That makes sense because imagine doing it on YouTube and then people go, "Oh, I don't spend
Yeah,
$160."
I'm almost positive it's just the pictures.
Okay.
But
That makes sense.
yeah, that's awesome. We've had a couple people we know do this and they loved it.
Really?
So it's one of those things where it's just such a unique experience because you're like, it's always just sitting there, like his apartment. And it's something that I personally don't think about a lot when we go to the parks. I'm like, that's Walt's apartment right there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we get too used to it, right?
Right.
I think we get too comfortable of going like, yeah, Walt used to stay there. And you just don't sit for a minute and go, I cannot believe Walt lived here and built this place.
Right. And for those who don't know, in San Francisco, there's the Walt Disney Family Museum. That museum actually has a couple items from his apartment that you could see. So that was really neat. We did see that.
They had the original lamp.
Mm-hmm.
So the one there's like 3 or 4 iterations after the original lamp. And we're actually going there with some friends here in about a month.
Yeah.
So stay tuned on Instagram to see who we're going with. Next up, we've got another Disneyland tour called Celebrating Disney 100 at the Disneyland Resort. This is a little cheaper at $110 per person. And let's go ahead and read what it includes. Walking through Disneyland Park and Disney's California Adventure Park with an official Disneyland tour guide. You tour Buena Vista Street, the Animation Academy, Main Street Opera House, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Sleeping Beauty Castle. Taking part in a unique drawing experience at Animation Academy that features special characters for the Disney 100 celebration. A complimentary digital download of your snapshot in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle adorned with dazzling Disney 100 celebratory decorations. It's a lot of adjectives to make it feel like you're getting more than what you're getting.
Yeah.
A Disney 100 celebration treat. Reserved viewing for the Magic Happens parade. That's cool.
That would be amazing.
And a specially designed Disney 100 commemorative pin. I definitely feel like you're paying for that reserved seating. I would argue that's worth probably $100.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it'd be kind of cool though to do the animation thing involved in this tour.
Okay.
Like that would be. I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I'm like anything where you're like, yeah, you get to do this with
And
animation.
it's exclusive, right?
I love doing the animation class. Caleb always laughs at me. He'll just sit in there and laugh at my drawings because they're never very pretty.
You know what? Hold on. I want to be fair here and say that the fact that you even do it, kudos to you. I am so bad at art. I've been like that since I was a kid. Arts and crafts was my least favorite thing to do. So I don't even try. I just sit there with my phone and record Caitlin and record the animator up there doing their thing.
It's so relaxing.
And it's super impressive. Caitlin always does a good job.
Oh, that's funny.
I love them. I keep all of them. Collect and keep all of your little drawings.
Yeah, the last one we did, do you remember? Was it Miguel?
It
No.
was Miguel. Yeah, it was.
It was Miguel because it did not look like Miguel. It
It's
looked
okay.
like a potato, like Mr. Potato
A
Head.
potato with eyeballs.
It was terrible.
It was fun.
Not my best work, but I highly recommend doing that class. It's fun.
It's a great time to get off your feet if it's very hot outside. Go draw a Disney character. There's kids in there and definitely kid friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And have them go to town on that drawing. Next up, we've got some kind of exclusive Disneyland dining experiences. And one you're going to laugh at that I put in just the dining category, but I didn't know else how to explain it. But first off, there's 21 Royal. And this is a very exclusive, very expensive dining experience at Disneyland. It's actually housed in the old, what was it called? The Suite?
The Dream Suite.
The Dream Suite. So this was the thing that they always talked about on like ABC specials growing up of like, you and your family can stay at the Dream Suite in Disneyland.
Which, for those who don't know, that's about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sorry, yes, thank you. This is the the room above Pirates of the Caribbean. There's this like staircase that leads up to it. It looks like you can go up, but you can't because there's a thing blocking you. We actually talked to someone that stayed in the Dream Suite.
Yes.
And she said it was super awkward because there was someone with you staying in another room, but two cast members.
So they don't leave you in there, obviously, because they don't want you doing anything crazy in there. So they sleep in the other room.
And you had to ask if you can leave to go. They would like escort you to go use like this bathroom or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then I think in the morning, they had to get up at like 6 a.m. They could go around the park with them while no one was there.
But it was a get out. Like it was a quick like...
Yeah, like get up, get some breakfast, walk around the park, do your thing. All right, you're done.
It was kind of like I appreciated it. They won it in some raffle thing, but it was also like it wasn't what I expected.
Still a great experience. I do think like being like bunked up with the cast members.
Night.
They're not in the same room, but like still, I would like not want to talk. I'd be so weirded out.
I know, like lights out, guys. Go to sleep. Okay, so 21 Royal is a $15,000 experience. And if you do the math, it's about $1,250 per person.
Whoa.
That's some cash. So if you and I wanted to do this, $2,500, and we had to find and wrangle up another few people to do it with us. Anyways, it's a very exclusive, very fancy dining experience in this suite, this old suite. It includes up to, I think, how many people can do this?
Let me see here. I'm not entirely sure.
12 guests.
12 guests. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go, that's not expensive. That is extremely expensive. Again, it's all for the ultimate Disney fan that's like, yeah.
I'd rather if I was spending that money, I'd rather do a VIP tour.
I think I would too.
Again, if I had money to blow, congratulations if you can do this and just like, oh, what? 15 grand?
Yes, but there is one thing I wanted to mention. A cool feature in this room is there's a fireplace that we saw on a YouTube video. Remember it it's animated. So when the fire, so it's obviously not a real fire.
Yeah, it's not a real fireplace. It like leaves it pumps out heat.
Yeah,
it's like an animated fire effect.
But the flames all throughout the night will show fireworks in them. So it's like really neat to see.
It is cool.
That was so cool. It's something small.
Hey, for 15 grand, you can also experience this projected fireplace. But again, this is where the money are like, okay, this would be pretty cool. You end the evening. The grand finale is dessert on the private balcony, where you and your guests are treated to a spectacular view of the rivers of America, and on certain nights, prime viewing of the park's nighttime entertainment. So you've got prime time Fantasmic viewing with a drink in your hand, hanging out with your buddies on a balcony in New Orleans.
Okay, so
Square.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather do that here, or would you rather do that at Club 33?
Club 33. We're going to get into that in a second. Okay, so the next, we put it in dining because there's really no other explanation for it, whatever. I couldn't put club. But anyways, Club 33 is included in this list. Very exclusive. And this is kind of the curveball one. It's not, you can have all the money in the world. If you're not a member, you can't get in without knowing a member or becoming a member. So this is an invite or member only kind of experience, just to kind of give you some context as to what the level of what this is at is $25,000 initiation fee and a $10,000 kind of maintenance fee, annual dues to be a part of this very exclusive club.
And you heard that, $25,000 just to get into the club as an initiation fee, plus $10,000 a year.
Yeah, and this has a multi-year wait list.
That is correct. Last time I checked, I think it was like, wasn't it 5 to 7 years or something?
Know. I think on average.
And I think you have to send in like a letter explaining why you want to be a member. Like it's a whole process.
It's a whole, it's like kind of like a secret society process here. So again, we've had the pleasure of going into this club. Again, we're not members, but I worked with someone and they were members and they sent someone to meet us. It was this whole thing. We actually have a whole episode on it if you want to go back and listen. But yeah, it is a very awesome experience. We chose to do the Salon Nouveau side of things, which is their bar. Mm-hmm. And then there's another side, which is the main dining room called Le Grand Salon.
Which you have to get dressed up for.
Very dressed up. It's expensive, but I would budget probably $100 a person. And it's a 5-course meal and all that good stuff. But Club 33 is a fantastic experience. If you, again, if you know someone, if someone knows someone, I highly recommend. Again, don't be weird and like straight up. I don't know. I don't encourage you to be like, can you get me in? But I don't know if the opportunity comes up,
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
I highly recommend. It was probably one of the most unique and memorable experiences we've ever had at the parks. There's just something about being able to go in there. It's truly like a different level of like Disney magic. And to this day, like we still have items from the club that you're able to, they kind of give you like little chocolates and just like the pictures.
Probably should check on those chocolates.
They're probably disgusting, but like we have like little napkins with like the stamp on it. And it's so funny because back then they still do. They have like ears and pins and all that kind of stuff. We only got the pin.
We didn't, and again, we were young. We didn't have a lot of money. And so like at the time, an unexpected couple $100 in merch was not in the budget.
And I'm so sad now.
I know.
Because my little merch heart just breaks every time I see people in the parks with the Club 33
we have
stuff.
to save it. We have to save it for like, it's less magical if it's just bought
I know.
outside
it
of a
just
visit.
makes
So,
me so sad.
if we ever have the amazing opportunity to go back into the club, we will definitely have it budgeted to buy some merch.
Yeah.
But again, if you have the opportunity, take advantage of it. Go do it. It is a Disneyland freak's biggest dream.
We would love to go again because we would love to experience like the fine dining option.
Yeah, to experience both sides.
But if you are able just to only do the bar side, it is absolutely amazing over there.
Yeah, which I didn't know this. There's a difference between the two. And Happiest Hour had someone on that.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yes, Jordan. She's been a few times. I did not know this. And go listen to this if you want to hear a great episode on Club 33. But the fine dining side, you can actually just get in basically like member invite. So if the club knows that the member has invited you to come, you can go in there with your friends without the member.
Oh, that's right.
But the bar side, you have to have the member present.
Yeah, I find that interesting. I'm not entirely sure if it's because they don't want you kind of getting crazy with alcohol over there.
I have no idea.
Without the member being there.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, no, you need to have the member if you're going to be in the bar. I have no idea. But
I don't know. That's a weird rule, but that is unique because we did have the person with us, and he was amazing to talk to. And but anyways, yeah, bizarre.
Yeah. Either way, either one that you go into, it's absolutely amazing.
It is. I agree. Okay, next up, the last kind of section here we have are all the Adventures by Disney experiences. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. There are a ton of vacations you can take with Adventures by Disney. You can go to Boston with ABD. You can go to Maine or something like that and do a Northeast like fall autumn trip with ABD. They're very expensive. So this is definitely if you hit the lotto, if you have a ton of money from the sale of your company,
Yeah,
like good for you.
Expensive.
So this first one, I'm going to give you the pricing on. This is a Disneyland Resort and Hollywood tour. It sounds simple, but it's not. So let me tell you what it includes. It is $4,200 a person. $4,200 a person. This is 6 days, 5 nights. And let me break down what this includes. There's a Disneyland Park visit, of course, including a backstage tour, a DCA trip visit, including a backstage tour, World of Color VIP viewing, Disneyland Parade and Fireworks Spectacular VIP viewing, the Walt Disney Studios and Archives, so a visit to the Walt Disney Studio in Burbank, Walt Disney Imagineering Tour, so you get to see their offices and what they're working on, Hollywood Walking Tour. This is less cool to me because of how dirty Hollywood is
you
now.
You go see like the stars and stuff on the
Exactly. The Jim Henson Company VIP visit. This is awesome. Tam O'Shanter. This is apparently a dining establishment that Walt was a huge fan of. I just love the name, Tam O'Shanter. And a tour of Walt Disney's Disneyland apartment.
I think like this is honestly one of the tours that I would love to do one day just because of all the experiences that you get to go do outside of the park.
So yeah, this also includes and you have to understand this is what it includes. And people kind of get confused, and I was too when I first heard about this. Like, what is Disney doing in Boston, right? What does this include? Basically, Disney's stamping like their seal of approval on a Disney sanctioned trip, basically. We picked these VIP tour guides that are amazing, right? We picked these hotels because we know you'll love them, right? They're very clean, they're very elegant, they're very nice. We're going to feed you 11 meals that are fantastic to eat and really good. So it's all kind of like, we love the Disney parks because of how amazing they are. This is a Disney kind of experience outside of the parks, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So you're paying for the peace of mind that Disney has gone ahead and researched all these places for you and hired the right people to make your trip amazing.
Right. And from what I've heard from people who have done Adventures by Disney, in a nutshell, it's basically when you embark on one of these trips, it's everything is taken care of. Like nothing goes wrong. And if something does, the Adventures by Disney cast members are there to take care of literally anything. Especially on the ones like when you think of going over to Europe or wherever it might be, that time at times can be stressful because you're like, there's so many things you have to plan. I don't know if I'm going to like this. Is it safe to go there? Everything on these trips is safe, all taken care of, and it's just stress-free for you, which again, some people value with that price, but it's definitely something to consider if you're wanting something to be taken care of 100%.
For sure. And some people are willing to pay that premium, right? Of like, just, I don't want to think about it. I had an old boss that was like that, and different tax bracket than I was. But yeah, he would pay for these experiences of like, if I have to think about it for 5 minutes, I don't want to do it.
People just don't want the stress.
Yeah.
Especially like when we went over to Europe, it's stressful at times because it's just so different. So being able to have someone who knows everything about where you're at, everywhere that you'd want to go, everything you want to see, every meal planned out for you, like that's just awesome.
For sure.
So I definitely hope like one day we'll be able to do that in the future because it's just such a great experience.
It is. Let me tell you about this next one. I'm sure you'd want to book this immediately. This starts at $8,000 per person. Let me just say that up front. And mind you, it includes a 10-day, 9-night experience, accommodations at the Westin in Dublin, the Intercontinental in Edinburgh, the Waldorf Hilton in London. So very fancy accommodations, includes your flight, meals, 21 meals, and this is what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, this is the British Isles.
The British Isles. Thank you. A shortbread making lesson, and listen to the description. Join the private chef of the Duke and Duchess for a lesson on making shortbread, a traditional Scottish biscuit. You're hanging out with like the royal staff, man.
I can't even believe it.
Floors, Castle, and Gardens privately guided tour. So discover the gem of the Scottish borders at this magnificent 18th century castle that is the seat of the Duke of Roxburgh. That sounds fancy.
Very fancy.
Private viewing of the royal crown jewels. You go to Edinburgh Castle, high-speed boat ride on the river. Is it Thames? The River Thames.
I have no idea. I've actually never been to London. Caleb has, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah. I don't remember what that was. I was 11 years old. So the river, if I'm butchering this name, I apologize. I think it's the River Thames. Anyways, this is fantastic. Again, it's just a crazy long thing. You get very exclusive, very cool sightseeing, things that you would never be able to do outside of ABD. So again, they're making it happen. The next experience that's super unique is the Rhine River Cruise. 8 days, 20 meals, 22 sites. This includes a Heidelberg Castle tour, Amsterdam Canal cruise, Rhine Gorge Castle cruise, a gondola ride, Siegfried's Mechanical Music Cabinet Museum, French macaroon making class. It's just super cool.
This is like your ultimate, like, just trip over there.
Yeah,
like,
and it includes, I think this one focuses on world famous breweries, award-winning wineries, and local pubs, and a bunch of really good food. This starts at $5,400 per person.
Wow.
Yeah, right? 11 grand.
I think I'd rather do the British Isles one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're less focused on the whole alcohol stuff, and like you probably wouldn't love that.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I would do it if someone wanted to pay for me.
I mean, I'm more of like, I don't know, like, do you have some like bread and butter?
Can we do the bread and butter cruise, please, for $8,000?
I would love the bread and butter cruise.
And finally, this is the final one. We've mentioned this a couple times. Everyone mentions this Adventures by Disney experience. This is the Disney Parks Around the World Private Jet Adventure, 24 days, 68 meals, 31 sites, starting at the low price of $110,000 per person. You heard that right, $110 per person. You are going and staying at every single crazy, insane Disney accommodations available. Disney Grand Californian Hotel, Summit Skywalker Ranch in the Bay Area, Tokyo Disneyland, Shanghai Disneyland, Hong Kong Disneyland. You name it, it includes it. And again, if you've got an extra couple $100,000 burning a hole in your pocket, this is the ultimate vacation.
Yes, and if you have been on this little journey, please let us know and reach out because we would love to talk to you about it just to see how it was because I'm very curious.
You would instant guest spot.
Oh, for sure.
You would be
We
on
would
this
totally
thing.
have you on to talk about it.
You want to
because-
talk about it at 2 a.m? We'll call you at 2 a.m.
I don't know about that, but
I will, at
Caleb would be
least.
a little tired. But no, seriously, if you've been on this, please let us know because we would love to talk to you about this because this is one of the, again, unique experiences that you don't hear anybody talking about unless they're wanting to go on it. So I would be so intrigued
Yeah.
to hear like what this was like.
So amazing. Again, you're going to the pyramids of Giza with Disney. It's just unbelievable. So, and by the way, you're traveling in style on a private jet. So the ultimate vacation, that's kind of a crazy one out of the norm there. But again, if you're at all interested in any of these trips, let us know. If you've been on one at Adventures by Disney, if you've been at 21 Royal, Club 33, any of the unique experiences we've mentioned or we failed to mention, let us know. We'd love to hear your story. And maybe we can kind of feature some stories on an upcoming episode.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, outside the box things people have done with Disney.
Yes, let us know. Again, you can do that over on Instagram or on the website, on the contact us area.
markethousepodcast.com. Contact us, and that will send us an email. Thanks so much for joining us for another week of crazy shenanigans over here on Market House Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Market House Podcast and Twitter at Market House Pod. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the parks and exciting news and announcements. And again, like we mentioned before, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Giant help to the show. A rating, 5 stars, takes 5 seconds, or take 5 minutes to write a review. We'd appreciate it.
And for those who have stuck around to the very end of this episode, we may or may not be having someone on that's very special coming up. So
Yes.
definitely stay tuned.
Here in the next couple of weeks, we will have some special guests on the show.
Yes.
And cannot wait to talk to them.
We're so excited. That's all we're saying. Okay.
Thank you. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link. Join us next week for another episode. This has been Market House, and bye.
Bye.